Welcome to the International Wedding Trend Report 2020, now in its 6th year and brought to you by The Wedding Academy, the leading training company for wedding planners, stylists and designers globally. My name's Kylie Carlson, the CEO of The Wedding Academy, and it has been my absolute pleasure to train over 4,000 wedding planners over the last 12 years. And today I can't wait to bring you the trends that we're seeing coming through for weddings in the forthcoming year. The thing about trends is they are constantly evolving. It isn't always about bringing something brand new to the table. It's about working with what you've got and giving it a modern twist. Take phones, for example. They've been around for donkey's years. Literally years and years and years. We've been thrown lots of new technology from email to social media, but phones still reign supreme. They fit in our pocket. We call from them, we text from them. They're as powerful as computers. And they were around in 1876. Everything old is new again. That's the biggest trend that we're seeing at the Wedding Academy for weddings in 2020. Now, I want to introduce you to one of our first pros to talk about the trends that we're seeing become popular in venues. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to Janine from the Clapton Country Club.
Hi, I'm Janine. I work at the Clapton Country Club, a wedding venue in East London, and the trends I'm seeing at the moment from brides that are coming to us, they're looking for something special and a little bit different, not the mainstream banqueting type of venues. They want smaller, intimate, more interesting venues. Our venue provides that. It's rustic, it's exposed brickwork, it's unusual. You feel like you're actually in the middle of nowhere, but you wouldn't know it, but you're hidden in a little pocket of London, tucked away, and just a couple of yards from the busy main road, but you'd never know it.
This year we are getting behind two completely contrasting trends. The first being maximalism, and more is most definitely more. The second is more understated, it's pared back and it's more organic, and it's most definitely what we would consider to be minimalism. So now it is time for us to unveil the first of our two contrasting trends that we've been talking about. And the first one is most definitely maximalism at its best. Now, I kind of think of this trend a little bit like a comfy pair of slippers because you just know it's going to fit. And what I'm talking about is the boho trend. It has been around for a long time and it is not going anywhere fast, but we are putting a modern twist on boho, and it is move over boho and it is enter moho. You heard it here first on the Wedding Trend Report. Moho is going to be a thing. And to tell you all about this amazing trend and exactly where the inspiration came from this, I'm going to hand you over to our stylist, brand manager extraordinaire, Martha, who is the brains behind this concept. Martha, tell me more.
Thanks, Kylie. So, as many of you who love weddings know, anyone who's interested in becoming a wedding planner or a wedding stylist, boho has been big, but it's been big for so long. But what we're seeing as the years go by is it evolves. So if we think about what happened in 2019, is that it started to change. So we've seen the Persian rugs, the macrame, the wing catchers, the kind of Moroccan colour palettes with the earthy tones, the nudes, the taupes, and kind of bringing that side of boho in. That's kind of been big in kind of 2019. But then we had, like, Mandy Moore got married and Pampers turned pink, and it was all baby pink, and it was a totally different spin on things. It had that California vibe, it was modern, it wasn't necessarily your typical boho, but it had that kind of free festival-y, but an elegant spin on it. And that's where I really think boho is headed for 2020. I think people keep saying Pampers is going. I mean, my clients are still asking for Pampers next year. I think it's just such a beautiful texture. I think people love it. I think it creates height. It creates this wonderful kind of ethereal, festival-y, relaxed vibe. But what I think is about taking that people love and giving it a fresh spin. So one of the things we also know that's really been coming through for 2019 and is definitely going big in 2020 is bright colours. If you look at the Pantone Fashion Trend Report, the top 3 colours that they've listed are like a scarlet red, classic bright blue and a saffron yellow. So we're talking about those bright kind of primary colours. But what's also coming through is the kind of rusty cinnamon colours and some of the pastel pops. So with this, we kind of wanted to bring boho into colour. We're moving away from those earthy Moroccans and giving it a refresh. Like you said, boho is a classic that always looks amazing when done well, I will add. Depends on your wedding stylist. So what it is about really bringing that to life in a new way. And so we've called this Moho in Colour. And what I love about what we've created here with Elspeth, our florist from Blume Studio, is that we've taken those kind of classic boho kind of fluffiness, textures, kind of these meadows and floor standing, and what we've done is we've done it in totally different colours, like lilac, usually quite a traditional, quite a classic pastel wedding flower, is now part of this super modern installation that's got those kind of vibes that we saw coming through at people like Mandy Moore's wedding, where you've got the pastel colours and that kind of relaxed Californian vibe. So personally, I love this. And I think it's going to be big. So yeah, watch this space.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. Loving what this has actually brought, especially in a venue like this, where it is a cross between kind of rustic and industrial, which again is the same sort of thing that we're seeing with trends moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Like works perfectly with the exposed brickwork, and you know, it's about using the kind of quirks of the space. And also, you know, that's what modern boho is about. It's merging things to really work with the space and all these beautiful colours and textures that you have.
So you heard it here first. Moho is going to be a thing.
So now you know more about Moho, and I am super excited about what we've created here this morning. And part of that, in fact a huge part of that, is the wonderful, talented Elspeth from Blume Studio, who worked with me on this brief and created this floral magic behind me.
I'm Elspeth and I'm the founder of Blume. The floral trends for 2020 that I'm seeing is very flower heavy, using less foliage and very much colour blocking with the flowers, and also bringing in less trendy flowers that are being produced over abroad in different colours, so carnations and things like that. And we're also looking at new trends being developed from 2019 to 2020, so boho but a new move into it, so more colour focused and more exciting designs.
Food plays such a big part in every wedding. So let's find out what the catering trends are from Meryl Snow.
Couples today want convenient, sophisticated culinary experiences with fresh, natural, and additive-free food, and they need transparency in the source and the way it's prepared. So embrace this one, because this one's not going away. Here's what we're showing in 2020. African Caribbean cuisine, also known as Afro-Carib, and it's the latest. It draws inspiration from the northern half of Africa. All right, two things you need to know about the Afro-Carib cuisine. With so many ingredients and flavors and textures, the presentation can look a tad messy. So providing the right serving vessel is paramount. Second, this cuisine has some heat. Chefs, you will need to lighten up the spices for the American palate. Next, high-end cocktails. They will continue to find a place at weddings, of course, right? But it's not surprising that with the legalization of CBD, which is cannabidiol, in many states it will take front and center. And contrary to popular belief, CBD oil will not get you high. It's rather a mood elevator. The making of the cocktail will be interactive, like a performance. And CBD could be dropped into drinks in powder, oil-based, or water-soluble form. And it sure adds value and profit to the beverage station. This will be the leading trend in 2020 and beyond. But before plunging in, do your homework. Every state has different regulations. And there you have it, our 2020 trend predictions. Thanks.
So it wouldn't be the trend report if we didn't throw in a couple of other extra trends. And of course, whilst we've got our model here, who by the way is looking absolutely stunning in this amazing dress, it kind of made me think about the fact that Meghan Markle, when she got married, had 2 dresses, and you can probably understand why. And I'm here right now with one of our other mentors at the Wedding Academy, Zoe, who is a wedding planner extraordinaire in her own right. And Zoe, you brought up this trend the other day.
Yeah, because it is definitely more popular. I think the thing about it is you do need to plan ahead for it because you probably need a budget. When I got married a while ago, 25 years ago, I would have said, I'll have 2 dresses, I'll have 3 dresses, but I didn't have the budget. I had my 1 dress and I made it work. Although you could do all the pinning up. Do you know, all the pinning up and all the different... I think the top and bottom skirts were coming in. So I think it is more popular that people are doing it. They're planning ahead for it. They're getting it in the budget so that they've got 2 dresses. But I also think that maybe it's more trousers now. For the evening. You know, there's a lot of trouser suits in weddings now that there weren't before, and I think that might be a trend as well as the 2 dresses.
Well, it would certainly make sense because as beautiful as this dress is, probably not easy to trip the light fantastic on the dance floor. So having a second dress could definitely work from that perspective. You know exactly who he is. He is a celebrity in his own right. There isn't much he doesn't know about wedding dresses. Say yes to the dress. It is Monte Durham.
Hi there, Monte Durham with Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta, and I have some 2020 wedding fashion trends for you. We are noticing coverage is huge this year. What we're seeing is long sleeves, capes, scattered lace across the neckline. A natural fit at waist is where the dresses seem to be hitting these days, along with full, soft skirting. And we're also seeing buttons and bows make a huge comeback. Buttons all the way down the back of the dress, even to the edge of the train. And the bows, whether that fine little tuxedo bow or the big bow of the 80s, they're making a huge comeback. And when it comes to your tablescapes, well, formality has made a huge return. Table settings are coming very formal this year, and we're seeing candelabras making a big impact, with flowers being low and settled on the table. Now, when it comes to your bridal bouquet, there's a special treat. They're running east to west, full of greenery and brighter flowers. Hopefully these tips will help you make those plans for that special day. And here's wishing you all the best. Cheers!
Okay, so now we're introducing you to our second trend, which is a complete and utter contrast to Moho. It is time to say goodbye to millennial pink and a big fat hello to neo mint, which is the actual colour that has been forecast as the leading colour for 2020 by WGSN. And again, I want to introduce you to Martha, who was the brainchild behind this absolutely stunning tablescape that you're looking at here. Martha, tell me more about neo mint.
I mean, I'm super in love with this. I didn't think it was going to turn out like this. And where we wanted to go with this is, so we had the Moho, we went big with colour, we went floral installation, we really wanted it to be a statement. And we said this was going to be our minimalist one. We got a bit carried away. So what we're going with here is talking about taking it back from those big colour palettes, taking it away from having multiple colours at your wedding. And this, where we're going understated with this is the colour. It's just one wash of one colour. And I can't remember the last time I've seen a mint wedding that I actually liked. So this was a bit of a challenge for me. And once I started designing it, I was just like, do you know what? I'm going to do mint weddings from now on. I love it. But what we did here with the flowers as well is that we took that mint colour and we went through an array of greens. So you've got the kind of mints, you've got the slightly darker, you've got the kind of jadey tones, and we carried that throughout the tablescape. And I think where this kind of colour palette and this kind of concept can be really big is contemporary weddings where you want to do pastels in a way that's not like those classic pastels that feel a bit like dated and like lilac roses in a posy. This is like fresh modern pastels. So what I really wanted to bring through with this look, as well as going full on with the mint, was that organic flavour that we've seen coming through. You know, people are really into this more natural. We've gone super textural with the organic textures, natural linens, kind of stoneware ceramics. So we're really kind of celebrating recycled glass, all those kind of more natural organic textures. And that worked really well when I was working with Christine, who is the owner of Peboryon Cakes and the founder of the Cake Professionals. And Christine and I worked really closely together on the cakes for today. And with this concept, we took through that beautiful kind of shading of the mint green, the beautiful kind of ethereal elegance, and then the organic texture kind of shapes that we've got here on the two tiers.
My name is Christine Jensen. I'm the owner of Peboryon Cakes and the co-founder of the Cake Professionals. What we're seeing this year is kind of two avenues of brides. We've got those who want to strip it back, make it clean and understated and minimal. And then we've got brides that just want more is more, just excess, dessert tables, buttercream, edibles, favours, and all the rest. And we're seeing a move away from naked cakes and semi-naked cakes, and a move into buttercream as well. So we're getting requests a lot more for buttercream, and I don't know if that's the Meghan and Harry effect, but it's certainly lovely. And then the other thing is that we're getting much more focus on flavour. What are my guests actually eating at the end of the day? It's the last thing a guest eats at the end of the wedding, and it's the dancing fuel, so it's got to make a great impression.
With a tablescape as beautiful as this, I think it's time we found out what the decor trends are going to be in 2020, and I'm going to hand you over to super stylist Louise from the blog BLOVED.
Hello, I'm Louise from blovedblog, and I'm really excited to join you as part of the Wedding Trends report for 2020. I've been a blogger since 2011, so as you can imagine, over that time trends have changed massively. So what are the top 3 trends that I think are going to be coming into weddings over the next 12 months? The first one is really important. It's eco-conscious weddings. Why is it important? Well, it's because our millennial couples care. Planners, stylists and florists, if you're putting eco-credentials at the centre of your brand, you're going to do really, really well in 2020. Couples care about where things are coming from, they're socially conscious, they want to include items that have meaning and purpose in their weddings, and it's no longer about all of the superfluous items. Everything they choose, they're going to choose with great, great care. My second trend that I'm really excited about, because anyone who knows me knows I love a floral display. Well, flowers are going to get bigger and bigger in 2020. We're talking big bouquets, we're talking big floral installations, and we're going loose, organic, and more relaxed with our floral styling as well. One of the things that's going to be really key, and links back to my first trend for 2020 as well, is British grown, seasonal and local florals. We're going to be thinking about where those flowers are coming from. We're going to be thinking about the impact they have on our local environment and using more locally grown flowers in those big, beautiful installations as well. And then my final trend still relates back to this relaxed and gorgeous, informal sense that we're bringing into weddings, and this is all about alternative dining. Gone are the days of the silver service, and we're moving more towards grazing, family-style dining, and bringing that feeling of bringing people together around the food and the wedding breakfast. Now, this isn't just going to be grazing tables sat at the side of the venue or in the corner of a marquee. We're bringing the food into the table. We're encouraging people to get involved. We're introducing it into the styling and really making that integral part of the wedding day the key element that we're all going to remember. So I, for one, am really excited to see you bringing these trends into the wedding industry in 2020, and I can't wait to see more.
So one of the big stylistic considerations for this table was texture, and one great way you can add texture is through linens, and it's one of those 5 senses that you can bring to your wedding design. So I'm going to hand over to Heather from Atlas Event Rentals, who's going to talk to us all about 2020 linen trends.
Hi, I'm Heather Rouffe with Atlas Event Rental, and I'm here to show you the 2020 wedding linen trends. Some of the exciting trends we're seeing are florals, metallics, textures to linens, tropicals. For our more traditional bride, we have a all-white die-cut florals. It's beautiful. It goes to the floor, so you really see it from the top of the table all the way down. Another one for the traditional bride is more of an embossed cream look, so we're still sticking with the traditional colors, but just adding a little bit of dimension and character to the table. Our favorite, hottest trends, we are seeing something called liquid velvet. How amazing is this? So just to show you the difference, here's our traditional soft velvet, and this is our liquid velvet. It's sleeker, a little bit of shimmer, comes in so many amazing colors from the traditional to more vibrant. So fabulous and amazing. We're also seeing fun ways to add dimension and texture to the table. This is one of my favorites because it puts a new modern twist on sequins. And how fabulous are these Paragon linens? So again, so much life to them for that bride who wants a pop on their table but doesn't want to go bold with color. We can't forget about our Friday night dinners, our brunches. How amazing this new tropical twist with the metallics in vibrant colors. Metallics are big this year in all different aspects. Can't forget about our Aria floral. So again, we're seeing combinations of the florals, the metallics, traditional, but just putting a new modern twist on all of these beautiful linens. So these are some of your hot 2020 wedding linen trends. We're so excited we got a chance to show you these and can't wait to see how you style them on your tables for your upcoming weddings.
Well, without a wedding invite, there's no guests at your wedding. And as a wedding stylist, one of the things I love about stationery is how you can add texture, colour, pattern to your tablescapes, as well as the invite suite. And we're handing over now to stationer extraordinaire Ceci from cecinewyork.
Hi, I'm Ceci Johnson, founder and creative director of cecinewyork, and I'm going to share with you the top invitation trends I'm seeing for 2020. There's 3 major things. The first is personal touches, the second is classic with a twist, and the third is just embracing vibrant, really beautiful color. So for personal touches, here's an example. You can commission an artist, like I painted this liner of the venue of where the couple was getting married, so it becomes a really special keepsake as well. And it sets the tone right away, so you can see it here in the liner. And then also here it is on the invitation, so a touch of the view, very elegant. And when you open it, you have a classic invitation, but as you pull out the cards, you get little painted vignettes of the different places for the events throughout the wedding weekend. So really nice touches there. The next is classic with a twist. So here you have a classic invitation, but the twist is adding a really fun pattern on the back or adding it into the liner, so it's really just setting a cool tone, but you've got those classic undertones that are timeless and will never go out of style. And here it is in a black and gold variation that we also see is very trending, but it's also taking that classic typography, but with a twist on a lucite material. And then here is where all the colorful fun happens. You have the vibrant, big, bright color tones done in gorgeous watercolors that I painted for the client. And here it is on plexi on the back of the invitation, and you flip it over and playing with really cool different materials like velvet with gold foil, just to give tactile, activate your senses and create a really fun statement. And you've got jewel tones here, and again, that pop on the back. Everyone's loving that. And you can add a personal touch with your logo in gold foil in the center. So that's what we're seeing, lots of exciting things happening, and ultimately it's all about personalization and just creating something memorable and a perfect keepsake for your wedding.
So, the day is nearly over of another fantastic trend report shoot. We've had so many amazing people here, suppliers, students, the team. It's been incredible. One of the things that I really feel about today coming to the close is that one thing about trends is they're not always a flash in the pan, especially with the wedding industry. And if you downloaded last year's report or watched the video, you'll know that we talked about sustainability and eco-weddings last year. I just want to touch on it again because I think if you work in the wedding industry or are thinking of launching a business in the wedding industry, then we are all going to have to think about this change of mindset towards more sustainable and more environmentally friendly weddings. It may feel like a minefield at the beginning, but there are so many ways that we can start implementing this trend, which I think will actually become a way of life. And we were really kind of ahead of the curve last year, and now 2020 is going to be even bigger on sustainability and eco weddings. So get reading up on it, start small, buy foam-free flowers or no food waste or reducing plastic. Great way to start, but definitely a trend to think about for 2020.
Yeah, there is quite a lot of waste at weddings sometimes.
Yeah.
And that is a worry.
Yeah.
It is, but not everybody is trend driven, are they? What about your clients, Zoe?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I work mainly with marquees, traditional sort of country weddings. We're not in the city, so we're less driven by trends, but they definitely come through in small parts. So I might have a marquee wedding, they have some classic flowers, and then they have some geometric metallic shapes hanging or something. You know, they might not have the ivy anymore. We used to see the ivy up the poles, you know, that was always, everybody had that, and now it's maybe some lights or some grasses. So kind of just adding in those touches.
Element.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say we're particularly following trends in colours or things like that. You know, there's still a lot of anything goes, I think.
And I think that's an important thing to note, that trends are there, but they don't have to be used. It has to work for your particular style of client. And not every client is going to want a trend-driven wedding. And as much fun as we have doing the International Wedding Trend Report every year, we do realise that in some cases, we're pushing people out of their comfort zone, aren't we? We are stretching the realms of creativity with our trends. And you have to take that and understand how that will work for your client and how you can transcend those trends so that they're subtle, they're still trend driven and they're still modern, but without them taking over. So finally, one thing that I want to touch on, because obviously we all love weddings, but we're also all running a business. And if you don't look at the trends that are happening around you within business, it's a surefire way to make sure that you fail. So I don't want that to happen to you. And one of the biggest trends that I'm seeing happening coming through into 2020 is the ability to communicate with your clients on multiple levels. So what do I mean by that? Okay, it is no longer enough to communicate with your ideal clients by email only. Email open rates are down across multiple industries. It's not just our industry, but people's inboxes are rammed right now. So the ability to be able to communicate with your clients on lots of different platforms is what you need to be focusing on. So think about how you can implement WhatsApp within what you do, or text messaging within what you do, or Facebook groups, or even think about bots. Yep, I said it, bots. Because now those types of things are ways of being able to automate the way you communicate with people so that people are getting instant answers. They're not having to wait. And let's face it, we all check our phones far more than we check our inboxes. So that is a trend that I am seeing. It is starting to become quite prominent. It's not a difficult thing to be able to integrate. You just need to think about how you're going to put it into your business, which leads me very nicely onto our final pro who's going to talk to us about tech trends, and that is Rob from aisleplanner.
Hi, my name's Rob Farrow. I'm the CEO and co-founder of aisleplanner. We're an online software platform for the wedding and event industry, connecting professionals, consumers, and the planning process all under one roof. I want to talk to you today about some of the trends we're seeing in the industry and hopefully give you some insight into what's to come for 2020. So one of the first trends we're seeing is the demand for technical proficiency from the businesses in the industry. As the industry has evolved in the last 3 to 5 years, we've seen an increase in the adoption of services going to the cloud. If you're not already using services that are cloud-based, you will be very shortly, and the learning curve on that can be relatively steep. So what we recommend is to take your time, make sure you're vetting every tool you use and what you need, and find the systems that work best for you to make you more efficient and create a better overall customer experience for your brand. The second trend we're following relates to your tech spend. As you adopt more services, obviously you're adopting more costs. One of the things that we want to remind you of is to make sure as you're using new tools, you look at the services they actually provide and look to see if there's any duplicity in the services you're using. For example, within aisleplanner, we provide an electronic signature system, so you wouldn't need to subscribe to, let's say, DocuSign or HelloSign, because it's already embedded into the aisleplanner system. Those types of redundancies happen more frequently than you would imagine. So one of the things we really recommend, and one of the things we advocate for on an annualized basis, is do a quick review of all of the tech products you are using to make sure that you're not, again, paying twice for one thing. The third trend we're following has to do with client expectations in a digital world. As we've moved our businesses into the digital environment, we are meeting our clients in the middle. Their expectation based on their consumption experience, their purchasing experience, or their entertainment experience has been click of a button. So they're going to want to connect with you in a click of a button. That means making yourself more accessible, more available through different types of web services, so that when you are discovered by a client, they can authenticate you, discover there's a connection with you, and connect with you with a simple click. That'll happen through marketplaces, through listing services, or other platforms where you can showcase your work to a broader audience. Thank you so much for your time. On behalf of aisleplanner team, we wish you the very best in 2020, and please don't ever hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help.
Now, I don't know about you, but I have had the best day. We've got Moho in colour, which is modern bohemian, super colourful, and we've got this beautiful neo mint tablescape, which might be my favourite. What's your favourite, Zoe?
I do quite like this one. For me, it's a little bit, some of the colours are a little bit 80s. I know that sounds a bit, but maybe we're going back to that. I like this one, but maybe it's because it's at the table. But we've had so much fun. It's been so nice having all the students here and working with the suppliers. That's something we don't get to do very often at the Academy because of courses being online. It's just nice to meet people in person.
Be together.
Connecting in person for me is always something that I enjoy. And this has been the best team to be working with. As Zoe said, we've had 6 Academy students working, and you can see them, all their smiling faces behind me, working on this year's trend report. So if you love weddings as much as we love weddings, make sure that you go and download the full trend report, which you will be able to find in the link below this video. And of course, more importantly, if your dream is to become a wedding planner, stylist or designer, I think you know where you need to be studying, right here with all of these wonderful people. We'll see you for next year's trend report.